Hi, we're Team Transformers and we're going to be talking about operational transformation in this video. We might refer to operational transform as OT, so bear with us. So what is operational transformation? OT is basically a technique for supporting collaborative computing functions and applications. So it's basically really useful if you're working in a team, especially in a distributed area, right? What comes to your mind when we first say editing a shared document? Probably Google Docs, no? So OT is the technique that actually enables you to do your group projects collaboratively. So it basically lets you edit a shared document together with others over the internet. Nowadays, there's a lot of web-based software for simultaneous collaborative editing, no matter if you're working on rich text documents, spreadsheets, presentations, or source code. And the mastermind behind all of this is that operational transform. So let's skip all the theory and go into the technical stuff straight, yeah? So basically, how does it work? Let's say in this scenario, where the initial text document contains 1, 2, 3, 4 on both the client side and the server side, client being on the left and server being on the right. There are two operations. First one is insert x at the position 3, which would give us 1, 2, 3, x4. And the second one is delete 2 from the position 1, which would give us 1, 3, 4. So in OT, local operations will be executed as is, but remote operations will be transformed before their execution. So our actual result should be 13x4. So how about if this operational operation insert conducts without taking into account the second operation delete? We would actually end up getting 134x, which is not correct. So at the server, operation 1 is transformed to insert x2, whose positional parameter is reduced by 1 to include the impact of one character deleted by the concurrent delete operation. We then get 13x4 on both the sides, which is the correct result. So in summary, the basic idea of OT for consistency maintenance is to transform an editing operation into a new form according to the effects of the previously executed concurrent operations, so that the transformed operation can actually achieve the correct effect, which is 13x4 in this case, and ensure that the replicated documents are identical. So Ben will now bring you through the applications of operational transform.
Thank you, Akrita. Okay, so where do you usually use this OT? OT is being used by applications such as Google Docs and Edit, where people working at different computers can make changes to a document hosted on the server at any point of time. These changes are synchronized immediately with the other peers, in contrast to version control system like Git or a standalone system like Microsoft Word, where one usually works on a feature all by oneself and eventually merges the changes back to the project. No client should have to communicate with the server or any other client before making a change. In particular, there is no need to acquire a log from the server to make an edit, and concurrent edits can occur. After all the changes have been synchronized, every client should see the exact same document at anywhere. So, what about the collaborative capabilities of OT? OT supports a rich set of collaboration capabilities or functionalities, including all that you can see over here: consistency maintenance or concurrency control, which basically means that OT helps to maintain the shared document consistency while allowing multi-users to generate operations freely and concurrently, and the system to respond to local users quickly and execute remote operations in different order. Next, workplace awareness. It is able to support workplace awareness features in concurrent, dynamic, and complex 2D or 3D workspaces. Next, group undo. OT also supports undoing operations in multi-users concurrent editing environment. Next, operation notification. It can support a spectrum of operation notification strategies that cover the needs for both real-time and non-real-time collaborative application. Next, locking. Locking, fine-grained and refers to fine-grained and responsive locking, which helps to protect the integrity of the shared items and maintain semantic maintenance in a collaborative computing environment that is supported by OT. Next, operation compression. OT is able to support compression of the large numbers of operations accumulated in non-real time or on mobile collaborative computing environment. Lastly, conflict resolution. OT helps to resolve conflict among concurrent operations, targeting shared or dependent objects in a way that maintain consistency and preserve the effects of all operations in the face of a conflict. Next, I'll now pass the time to James, who will bring you through the benefits of OT for collaboration.
Thank you, Ben. So I will now talk about benefits of OT for collaboration. It is actually fast because it get all the involved editors to actually optimistically make their own changes locally without waiting for service to acknowledge the changes. It is accurate because there's always enough information for each client to merge collaborators' changes in the same deterministic way. It is efficient in a sense that the information that is sent over the network is always the bare minimum needed to describe what has changed. It has constant complexity regardless of the number of users that actually join the collaborative work. It is distributed in the sense that only the server needs to be aware of the document's history and the clients just need to be aware of the uncommitted changes. Now I'll bring you through what's the link between OT and concurrency. OT is an optimistic concurrency control mechanism since it actually allows collaboration between multiple users and therefore provides the various benefits that we have mentioned previously, such as speed, accuracy, etc. Furthermore, it does not need a lock from the server, so it's basically an improved algorithm of locking and serialization because unlike locking and serialization, it actually allows optimized concurrency and lets many users edit a single document at one time. Now Hongxie will talk about the shortfalls of OT.
As with everything, OT has some shortfalls. No existing OT techniques can solve semantic consistency problems in collaborative editing systems. To illustrate, consider a set text document with the following text: Minion take over the world. In this text, there is an English grammar error, that is, the text Minion take over the world should be Minions take over the world or a minion can take over the world. Let's assume that two users observed this grammar error and wanted to correct it in two different ways. One user issued an operation to insert an S at the end of position take, while another user issued a concurrent operation to insert A at the starting position of minion and insert can at the ending position of minion. Suppose the collaborative editing system has used OT to achieve convergence and intention preservation. Then after the execution of these two concurrent operations at all sites, the text will become a minion can takes over the world. By right, this result is correct since both users have the same document contents and the intended effects of the two operations have been achieved. This syntactically correct result is, however, semantically incorrect according to the English grammar. In other words, OT is able to ensure plain string be correctly inserted or deleted at proper position, but is unable to ensure the final string makes a correct English sentence. It is a semantic consistency problem. However, if the two users are provided with locking facilities to enforce mutual exclusion over specific region, example over an English word, a statement, or a section, then either one or two users could attain an exclusive lock on the original statement, which is semantically correct in terms of English grammar. In summary, OT and locking are complementary to each other. In conclusion, OT is very cool, and if you don't believe it, just imagine your SMU life without Google Docs or similar collaborative tools.